This is the man who slept in a casket for 15 years. Welcome back to my channel. Today, we will be discussing a very strange case of a man who slept in a casket for 15 years. You must be thinking that he might have been dead, but no, he was actually alive. Let's find out how this man managed to survive sleeping in a casket for so long. Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to my channel to never miss an update on anything related to this topic. Also, give this video a like and comment down your thoughts about the topic. And without any further ado, let's get started. Our story begins with a man named Winston Freeman from New York. In 2014, the New York Daily News published a piece of news about a man who had been living in his own casket for more than 15 years. The most shocking part of the news was that he was totally healthy and fine despite being inside the casket for so long. According to the New York Daily News, Freeman had been sleeping in his coffin since 1999. That means when the news broke out in 2014, he had already spent 15 years in there. You must be wondering why he was sleeping in a coffin for so long. Well, the reason behind this is quite tragic. He was suffering from a rare medical condition called hypersomnia. Due to this disease, he had to sleep for almost 18 hours every day. One can imagine how difficult it must have been for him to live a normal life while battling such a disease. Winston first experienced the symptoms of hypersomnia in 1976. He was just 23 years old at the time. It all began when he caught the flu. At first, it seemed like a typical bout of influenza. But as days passed by, his drowsiness got worse, and he started sleeping for around 12 hours every night. Even after sleeping for so long, he felt extremely tired the next day and ended up taking naps throughout the day. This pattern continued for months, and eventually he was diagnosed with hypersomnia. Doctors explained to him that the only way to cure this disease was through constant medication. However, the problem with this treatment was that it came with its own set of side effects. Since Winston was young and did not want to spend the rest of his life under the influence of medication, he rejected the doctor's advice and decided to deal with his condition on his own. Instead of taking medicine, he tried alternative methods to alleviate his symptoms. Unfortunately, nothing worked. As the years went by, his condition worsened and he started spending more and more time asleep. In 1999, Winston was already spending close to 18 hours a day sleeping. At this point, his family intervened and convinced him to seek help. They took him to another doctor who ran a series of tests and confirmed their worst fears. Winston's hypersomnia had progressed to the point where the only solution was complete bed rest. In other words, the doctor advised Winston to stay in bed all day and night until his body adjusted to the medication. And that's exactly what he did. For the next 15 years, Winston spent almost every waking hour in his bed. He ate, drank, and slept there. His room was equipped with all the facilities he needed to survive. His friends and family visited him from time to time to ensure that he was doing okay. Occasionally, they would also help him with basic tasks like eating and drinking. However, even with all the help he received, Winston's condition started deteriorating. After sleeping in his bed for several years, his skin developed sores and bed sores. His hair also fell out, and he became completely blind. When his family noticed these changes, they were shocked and immediately called the emergency services. The paramedics arrived first, and they were baffled to see a man in such a bizarre condition. After examining Winston, the doctors concluded that he had developed several health complications due to spending so much time in bed. His sores had turned into serious wounds and his blindness was caused by a detached retina. The doctors knew that if they didn't act fast, Winston could die. So they rushed him to the hospital for immediate treatment. The doctors worked tirelessly to treat his wounds and prevent him from going blind. They cleaned his sores and prescribed him a course of antibiotics to kill the bacteria that had entered his body through the sores. They also performed surgery on his eyes to reattach the retina. As soon as the news broke out, people from all over the country reached out to help him. Many of them donated money to cover his medical expenses, while others sent him food and other supplies he needed. For the first time in 15 years, Winston felt like he was not alone. After several weeks of treatment, Winston was finally able to go home. However, his health was still fragile and he needed constant care. So his family hired a full-time nurse to look after him. They also made some changes to his house to make it easier for him to move around. They installed ramps and handrails and converted one of his bedrooms into a medical room. Despite all the help he received, Winston's condition continued to deteriorate. His wounds refused to heal and he started developing new ones. This meant that he had to stay in bed all day and night, just like before. However, Winston was not willing to give up. He worked closely with his doctors and nurses to try and improve his condition. He followed a strict regimen of medication and physical therapy. Slowly but surely, his wounds began to heal and he was able to move around a little easier. Today, Winston is still battling hypersomnia, but he is much better off than he was before. He is no longer completely blind and his wounds have healed. Thanks to the efforts of his medical team, Winston is now able to live a more normal life. He is still unable to work, but he is able to go out for walks and even drive a car. Winston's story is a reminder for all of us that no matter how difficult our circumstances are, we should never give up hope. With hard work and determination, we can overcome even the toughest challenges. Winston is an inspiration to all of us who are dealing with difficult situations in our lives. He teaches us that we should never give up and that we should always keep fighting for a better tomorrow. Now here's something I need you to do. Go ahead and share this video with your friends and family. I'm sure you'll brighten their day. Also, give this video a like and let me know in the comments section what you think about this man who slept in a coffin for 15 years. Finally, don't forget to subscribe to my channel to get notified whenever I post a new video. I'll see you in the next one. Until then, take care and bye-bye.